Ahoy there, baby dolls. Welcoming you back to Crypto's Juiciest News. First things first, bears are finished. It's funny because you probably think, wait a minute, I thought the Bulls are finished. No. Sentiment is in the gutter. Everybody has given up. And this traditionally marks the start of some sort of like new awakening phase, some sort of new cycle up. Bitcoin deserves the red emoji because it's a piece of garbage with everything else. Ethereum still in a coffin. Man, we're bringing out all the coffin emojis. I've been doing a coffin emoji every day. Giving it the coffin emoji, 2,300 Bitcoin and Ethereum price. Let's go have a look at the price action. Now, on the daily, I mean, like this is the horrific destruction down. I just want to alert you to something. There is a CME gap at $78,000 here. Do we have to fill it? They fill 90% plus at a time. We could fill it. Of course we could. Many people, I think Arthur Gaze and everyone expects like low 70s. I mean, who knows? At this point, it's just the same garbage to me. I believe it would be really, really funny if we don't fill it, right? We don't fill it now, but then we go up, we have the cycle, okay? And then Bitcoin maybe doesn't stop at 300, maybe it stops at 220. And then somewhere deep down in 2026, we have a capitulation. We actually come back to fill it there. That would be funny. But so far, friends, Bitcoin at $84,000. Hit as low as $82,000. The little wick down here. Ethereum is still in the gutter. But yeah, there is a silver lining with stuff. Obviously, the others BTC, extremely important. Check this out. Altcoins have been holding up against Bitcoin. That's others BTC. So it isn't nice. It's nice to see that with Bitcoin dumping, we're strong. And do you remember, friends, it was literally last week, I was saying, if we get a poopy time downwards, if we do get that poopy time, don't panic. Because, I'm going to show you now, because if we did get the poopy time, I believed on the way up, I believe on this poopy time, altcoins would be holding up good, just because we're so oversold, right? And then I believe that on the way up, altcoins will be even stronger. But that basically what it's another way of saying ETH BTC will start to go up as Bitcoin now recovers in this next leg. But we were just guessing, man. Look at the weekly chart. The week, like, it's so low, man. Like, you got to get so many weeks up. But we need, there's no friendship until this thing flips green. Yelling about the clouds and stuff out here, man, friends. Old man yells at cloud. There's nothing else really you can do when it comes to this permit. You just got to keep holding on. But I've got a lot of juicy content here to go for you. So let's actually go through the most important part. We'll look at soy, friends. Soy ETH is still hanging around here. But on the Sol BTC ratio, soy BTC, it's, if we have a look at it, it's still red. So these things, man, this is the interesting part, right? Markets, they don't, see, if you look at them on the monthly charts, it just looks like it's red beer. But if you live it day by day, you get these little, it sells down a bit and then it stops. And you go, oh, thank God it stopped. And then it sells down a bit and then it stops. You go, oh, thank God it stopped. And then it sells down a bit and it starts recovering. Oh, thank God it stopped. But that's what happens in these periods of time. It just goes down and down and down. It's lower trending the whole way. Now, that's traditionally almost bear market stuff. However, when you have, you're too poor to stay at the Soylana girl's house. When you have young ladies with bosoms and derrieres who are being flashed onto the camera saying, oh my God, guys, you're too poor to stay here. It just feels like, yeah, it's cursed, man. It just feels like it's cursed. It is what it is. The funniest part is, it's just, friends, what I love seeing people just make the same mistakes as the crowd. Because after everything we've learned, cycles and euphoria, everyone's saying this time is different. Still. Not only are they saying this time is different with other altcoins on the way down, but now they're saying, no, this time is different. This thing's got all the adoption. Yo, Habib, do you understand how markets move? The price action moves first. Do you understand the developers on Soylana and the people on Soylana, they're only there because the price is up, right? You know that, yeah? And you know that what happens if the price starts going down? They start leaving. They have no loyalty, friends. No one has any loyalty to any of this. It's not just, I'm not picking on Soylana, I'm just talking about everything else. It's that Soylana went up. So they're not all going to disappear. Of course not. There's always going to be a residual amount of demand. But what you're actually going to find is the speculation, the megaphones, the people yelling, they're all a bunch of cheats. They go anywhere. They were Ethereum maxis 3.5 years ago, if they were here. They were NFT people. And actually, interestingly enough, a lot of Soylana people are NFT people. So you're just going to see this shift. Now, here's the thing, friends. It's one thing to just say, oh, this thing is euphoric. What's the next narrative going to be? I don't know. Everyone got the last thing wrong. By the way, it's funny. A lot of people who are long Soylana, they benefited on the way up. Okay, did you sell the top? No, you didn't. So you got lucky. You pretty much got lucky. They didn't sell the top. And by the way, they're not saying that because it's not a top. What do you mean it's not a top? Okay, man. Wait for it to flip green on the weekly super channel. We'll see. So you understand, man, the game is hard, man. The game is much harder than people think. You can't cheat time. You can't cheat time. We're playing the whole cycle. But Soylana people got given a gift. You won, man. You were the unicorn. You got the chosen 2024 rally while nothing else moved up. Do you know in 2020, friends, just to show you what happened, right? In 2020, if you bring up Ethereum, yeah, we had DeFi season, right? This is Ethereum's price, friends. We had DeFi season here. The strategy, the winning strategy was to sell all the DeFi tokens and rotate into ETH. That was the winning strategy. That's how people made a lot of money. Some people who knew to do that. I didn't even know how to do DeFi stuff back then until the very, very end of the season because no one knew what the hell was going on. It would be interesting if 2024 is the same as 2020, the Bitcoin halving, where the winning strategy was to dump all your sold profits, dump it into ETH. You're basically selling sold ETH, but you're also selling the highs of a lot of all the altcoins and stuff as well. It would be interesting if that plays out. It'll be something to think about for next cycle as well. Now, a lot of people, you want to know where we're going next. I'm going to show you some Bobby Loukas and some BlockChainBacker stuff here. In a nutshell, friends, everyone like thinks we bottomed now. We think of a bottom, we're going to start to go up. But like, who the hell cares with these little daily stuff here? We didn't give a crap, man. We want to see the bigger stuff, which I'm going to get to and I'll show you. Okay, so Bitcoin collapses to 82K, Bitcoin CME gap at 78K, and everyone is, and that's acting as everyone's target. $78,000 is everyone's target now because it's that CME gap. And if you're just curious what that is, so remember the US, the CUC Mercantile Exchange, it only opens Monday to Friday. So it's closed on the weekend. So wherever Bitcoin's price is on the weekend when it closes, whatever distance it moves on Saturday and Sunday, it creates a gap if it does a big move. And we did get a big gap. We went from, that's why you can see it right here. It did move a big gap here. You see this from 1 week, 76, it created this gap. Usually these gaps fill for whatever reason. Just because, it's because people buying on a weekend, there's thinner liquidity, so they're slicing through things. So the market, it's kind of like, it's a way like you're thinking like the market didn't really accept going through that price because, like for example, there are players who were long Bitcoin through that weekend on CME, and they would have sold at $76,000. However, you made it open at 78. So they're selling higher. So you're like giving artificial profits. It's just a bit of an auction theory stuff out here. That's if you want to know why these things tend to occur. Also, the volatility is interesting. Someone did a result before the CME of Bitcoin even opened in 2017 December. Before we even had the futures, people did CME gap pretend experiments, and it was the same percentage that it got hit. So they looked at how often did the gap fill in like 2013 and 2014, way before the futures, and it was still 95%. They filled every single gap anyway. So it's just that Bitcoin's super volatile. It's got really nothing to do with the gaps. So it was filling the gaps before we even had gaps to begin with, which is interesting. Now I think it's time to crank it just a little bit, friends.
You belong to me.
Okay, sentiment in the gutter. Let's go through, crack these. Bank of Ants. They said they're going to launch a USD pegged stablecoin. So that's Bank of America, right? Bank of Ants, because they're a bunch of bug eaters, bug worshipping, bug overlords, soy eating scum. And their CEO, which is the CUC executive officer, sits in the CUC chair all day. He said, quote, it's pretty clear there's going to be a stablecoin which is going to be fully dollar backed. It's no different than a bank account. Interesting. So more adoptions coming. It's kind of funny you hear this and then people who are like in the markets, right? They think, oh yeah, so Bitcoin adoption. Hey bro, this is Ponzi stuff. Banks are Ponzi's, yeah. They're handing you out yield on printed stuff and inflation. That's literally altcoins. So all the signs are telling us altcoins and stuff, we're gonna have big alt season. We are, even though it looks absolutely garbage. I know it's taking us time, but that's all the signs. I've got some juicy stuff to go through. Also, friends, so President Trump has ordered all federal agencies to prepare for massive downsizing. Yeah, so he just wants to trim all the workers out. Now, I want you to know that it's inevitable Bitcoin's going to $1 million anyway. You can't cut off enough workers. There's too much debt, and the way this thing's growing, you can't do it. The only way to do it, you have to tax everybody. I think the number I calculated, the one I saw, you got to tax everyone in America 90% for about 11 years. Good luck. Good luck. America makes everybody a slave for 11 years and they do no spending. Okay, that's wiped out. Yeah, you literally wasted your whole generation. You know what I mean? We're not going to do it. Good luck doing that. There'll be a revolution. Elon Musk says if we don't cut spending, America will go bankrupt. And then he said he's receiving a lot of death threats for his work at Doge. Also, friends, President Donald Trump has said that he's put 25% tariffs on the European Union. So these are some pictures you can come enjoy here. You have Elon Musk. This is talking and stuff out here. You have Donald Trump with the European flag. And this is the CME Gap I was just showing you earlier from before. This is the Ethereum's price. Richard Hart's Ethereum trades down 40% so far, which sucks. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. Now, all the key indicators that we need for Ethereum to go up, they have not pinged. Okay, that's the ultimate. That's the reality of stuff out here. So the key indicators, like you just look at the racist Russell. The racist Russell 2000, and extremely racist. Here we go. The racist Russell 2000. Look at this, friends. It's still way below the all-time high. See this yellow line? It's got to go above the all-time high. Has to go above. And you see, by this period of time, every other cycle, we were going up. We were going up, you know? So that's why a lot of people say this time is different. Yeah, but like, depends, man. Like, cyclically, everything's the same. It's just that the deviations of some stuff, they're positive on-flow effects from zombie virus. Inflation was really high. The US dollar had to get really tight. Confidence got shocked a lot. So it takes a while for people to like just really trust the whole cycle again, because it's still in everyone's minds, where everyone thinks, oh crap, there might be another zombie virus, or the government could just shut us down at any moment. It takes a while to do that. You know, that was interesting because I remember this. If you go and look at the silent generation, so that was after World War I, friends. What happened is World War I and World War II, the families of not the baby boomers who were born after World War II, but the adults there, they're called the silent generation. Because they lived through 2 wars, their spending was like permanently damaged for like the next decades of their life. Because, you know what I mean? Like no one spent money on chairs. You just sit on a milk crate. And because everyone really thought, like, because they lived through the Great Depression and then you lived through wars, and they're just like they lost full faith in society and life itself. So they're always very humble. That's why everyone out here, if you want to know, like, there's always that meme of like, you know, like in Arabic culture, it's always like Yataito, Jador. They're usually like very, 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 very conservative because everyone's like poor, always immigrants out there in the world. Yeah, the world was just a disastrous time. And I thought everybody was poor their whole life. No. In the 1800s, America had like a wealthy period because America had like a golden age. And I was like, I thought that was weird, right? How do we have a golden age wealth period and then it dissipates and then like you're poor again? But that's why, friends, because you had World War I, ravaged everybody. You had World War I, 1914. Or 1918 or 1914, whatever it was. Then you have Great Depression, which is from the 1930, 1939, around that 10-year period. And then you had World War II. So literally this whole generation of they're just like, you know what? We don't even know if we're going to be alive tomorrow, or I'm going to get sick or something's game over. That's why they had a permanent savings effect. And now we're seeing it with zombie virus, yeah? Zombie virus, you believe it or not, you and I, we aren't all impacted for the next like 10 years. Yeah, we are. We're like, man, literally everything drops 75% in a day. Yeah, but how does that impact it? What it does is it prevents black swans to that nature happening again for the next like 15 to 20 years. But it means that there's no like euphoria run up because everyone's scared to get in. It is very interesting how that plays out. Also, if you want further proof of that, the silent generation, friends, had very low inflation. Yeah, low inflation of spending. When they had the baby boomers in like the 60s to 80s, inflation went like through the roof in the 70s and 80s. Why? Because the baby boomers, They were like all the kids born from the silent generation who grew up in Great Depression, World War I and II. So their spending habits were really, really low. Then the baby boomers come out, and then you have the 80s, biggest inflation ever, because there was all these children out. Everyone's like, no one has any memory of war in their mind. It's their parents that did when they were young, you know. Now the baby boomers are baby boomers now. Now they're like 70 years old, right? So it's just interesting how that all the cycle plays out with all these like demographics and stuff. Now, speaking of all the cyclical forces, this is the Dixie, the US dollar. We need this to like go down really, really, really hard. I mean, like really hard. This has got to go down to 103. Just keep going down. If it's repeating 2017, that's what we're waiting for. So yeah, friends, if you want to know, like people ask me, Sommi, if we're repeating 2017, why exactly aren't we doing the 2017 move? Like, what is it on the charts? It's literally, friends, just because whatever cyclical force is keeping down the Russell, obviously it's also keeping down crypto right now. In 2017, the Russell 2000, the racist Russell, it wasn't racist back then. It was actually running through the highs. So the cyclical down pressure wasn't. Okay, so that's something to think about. That's the different part that we are now, the slightly different things. Now, friends, it's very interesting to look at different perspectives of where we're going from now. I'm just going to show you a quick video from Uncle Bobby. So just to preface, right? So I'm going to show you a post that I've made for you. Like and subscribe, highest value content. Uncle Bobby says altcoins are dead, no narrative, Bitcoin's the way. BlockChainBacker says the opposite. He says Bitcoin's narrative's dead. Okay. Where do I sit? Obviously, I'm biased because I believe in the bull market and double bubble alt season. Based on the facts, if you believe the crowd is wrong, we have to get altcoins if you believe the crowd is wrong. And we're going to go through that. Like, I also think about Microstrategy just bought $2 billion at 100K Bitcoin and dropped 20% on his face. Okay, market bought. So let's see Uncle Bobby.
Again, I want you to kind of ignore the numbers. We're looking more at time than anything else, and we're following the structure, okay? Respecting the ebb and flow nature of the market as it moves up, dissected by a 4-year cycle trend line that runs through that to a peak that then eventually gets followed by the bear phase of the 4-year cycle. And that goes back to the chart I shared with you originally.
So, friends, if you notice, Uncle Bobby, now the price doesn't really, don't focus too much on the price. Don't focus on the price. However, right here, you see the box I've just drawn? This is alt season wave 1. So I'll draw it right there. So that's alt season wave 1 that I've just shown you there. Now that's the box right there. That's alt season wave 1, friends. And this is alt season wave 2. Now, they're not going to 100% coincide. Okay, they aren't going to coincide, but I'm just giving you the general gist of if it repeated like that. So because he's only looking at the Bitcoin waves, right? So if he's not charting ratios, anything like that, doesn't care about altcoins. Even though he's got JPEGs, he does that separately. This is just like his main bulk primary thing here. So in a nutshell, right, Bob Loukas, alts are dead, no retail case. BCB, Bitcoin has no narrative. I just don't see it. Retailers will come for alts like they always have. Okay, so my opinion. Okay, and I'm just a peanut brain. I don't know anything. Okay, my opinion, still facts remain. Altcoins are the cheapest they've ever been. Ever. If you go off cycles, if you believe in cycles, altcoins are the cheapest they've ever been. Okay, and you can actually see this from the Bitcoin dominance. Never in Bitcoin history has Bitcoin dominance gone up in the Bitcoin halving year until our one. Okay, never. So I'm the only person telling you that's happening. Now, some people go like, oh, that means something's broken and it's wrong. Okay, that's what people say. And what I say is non-believers are about to get mogged. Okay, the market can stay very irrational, friends. That is very, very, very irrational. How is it Donald Trump coming in, altcoin focused, he has his own coin, all of these, why did the market go the other way? Well, look, if you sit there thinking about why the market went the other way, I end up telling you the answer. But if you keep looking for the answer, there's many times you just don't have an answer, man. You just got to accept that prices go up and down. Who cares about the answer? It's just like by you doing spot, you prepare that it can go wrong for a long period of time. If you're in leverage, Yeah, if you were like massively turbo leveraged, you're like wrecked already. You're finished. You can't even hold long enough. Okay, so that's it. The cyclical forces had not healed by this period of time. Yeah, so now you know, right? Now when we go into 2027, 2028 later on, and you're buying again, you're not going to be turbo long Bitcoin and Ethereum on leverage, are you? No, you're not. Just in case, because you know, oh crap, what if something bad happens, friends? What if that's what I think is going to happen in the next cycle? Bitcoin dominance is going to go down in the Bitcoin halving year, and then probably trap everybody again. That'll be funny in the opposite way that it did now. Being out of altcoins is extremely risky. Bitcoin narrative is overly stacked. Michael Saylor turbo buying $2 billion with an instant minus 20% drop is just proof of it. So that's actually what happens, friends. I know it's like wild to think about. Like, dude, Michael Saylor market bought $2 billion. Friends, look at it. He's only on side 27%. Yo, Whaley. He is on side only 20 after all that. You know, his first buy, he was up 10x, 1,000%. He's only up 27%. Why? Because he's, friends, this is what happens, right? As GCR said, and I'm saying Michael Saylor's got no off button. He's got no off button. So he's just going to buy as much as the market lets him buy. The crowd will be euphoric as it gets higher, and then there will be more money being willing to give into you. He does not have a stop button. Because he goes like, oh, it's going to $13 million. I'm allowed to grab every single dollar I can. Here's the thing, man. You can. You can't do it on leverage, though. You can't. But then what they do this for Ghazi. That's why we're setting ourselves up for a big bull trap. Because everyone's like, oh, there is no leverage. You don't get it. There's no forced liquidation. There's no this, there's no that. It's stocks, brother. If stock market guys want to come for the money, they'll come for the money. We know that. Do you really trust them? It ain't code on the blockchain. It ain't code whatsoever. So, these average price is moving up. Let's continue. And as I mentioned before, right, Bitcoin has never been this expensive before in the past of the in this past of the cycle, part of the cycle, according to Bitcoin Ethereum dominance. And this is important. The crowd, a bunch of losers, thinks altcoins are actually dead and the Ethereum is dead, and everyone wants to be a Bitcoin maxi. So we all know it, we all feel it. Now, remember, friends, if you've been watching my channel, a long-standing revelation I had is whenever I could see a potential headwind, because I'm always optimistic, I'm like, don't worry, that's going to happen in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Don't worry about that happening now. And every time I would think about it, it would happen early. It would happen way sooner than we thought. Every single time. The scary one is the Michael Saylor stuff. It is scary, I'm being honest, because I'm like, crap. I know he's going to get done somewhere. We all know. You know, does the market really have to play out the whole bull cycle first to do it? We don't know. We'll see. Ben Copen is still calling for 66% Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum crashing down to $1,000. So, friends, this is still true. Every KOL, they're long Bitcoin and long Soylana, and they're fading Ethereum. Yep, they're out of ETH. They're out of ETH, they're out of EVM. I mean, I haven't even sold Pulse Chain, which is slingshot leverage on Ethereum, to go get into soy. Just to give you an example, right? But look what's happening in the background, right? Even as I predicted, Vitalik, friends, remember I told you he's going to do some big changes, okay? He's not going to come and tell you they're going to do it in the background. That's what they are, friends. Because remember, Vitalik is a 4,000 IQ alien and you and I are monkeys. He doesn't want to keep rewarding us when we get angry. We're like, hey, do something. Dev, make price go up. He doesn't want to react to that, because if he reacts to that, it's like a parent reacting to a child. Child has a tantrum and the parent's like, oh, heavy candy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure parents' classes, they're like, oh, don't reward your kids when they're bad behavior, shouldn't be rewarding it. You know, that's how he's thinking, friends, because he's insightful. Whereas you don't really see it like that. You want to see action and strength. That's what you want to see. But it's not in his nature to do that. He doesn't know the words to say. He's never been that guy. You know, like if it was me, I'd be staunching up to everyone if I was Vitalik. But that's me, friends. That's me. I do push-ups. You understand? I can bench press. I deadlift. You get it? I drink protein. I have a lot of protein. I eat steak. I like steak. Steak's not going away. I feel sorry for the cows because they're cute. Just telling you, you're very yummy. So, Vitalik, you know, he could say, you know what? No one believed in us at the start and we came back firing and we're going to do it again. That's all he's got to say. But in his mind, because they're so high IQ, they can't talk to monkeys. They don't know how to speak to monkeys, you know? You and I, friends, we're monkeys. We know what the monkeys want to hear. But Vitalik doesn't. Vitalik sees it as like a 4-dimensional chess game. He's like, you know what? I'm not even going to respond at all. Because in his mind, if he talks anything, if he responds to the yelling and the violence, he's rewarding it with a response. And he's like, you know what? I don't even want to reward you with a response. You have to learn not to do that. You know, that's like this narrative stuff that's this basically what's occurring right now. But you understand that because what I've done is I've turned the negative into a positive. Yeah, I said, no, the change is still going on. Tamagotchi gone, girl's gone. She's moved to president, a puppet position. Yeah, she ain't running the executive decisions anymore. By the way, she's done nothing for 7 years. You know, so see, there's stuff, but because the price is down, everyone's like, nah, it doesn't matter. So I'm like, well, I've just got a case for things and turn around. Just remember, friends, at the bottom of the Bitcoin bull market, bottom of the Bitcoin bear market, which I'll show you now. Yes, at the very, very bottom, remember interest rates were high, and they said we can't go up because interest rates are high. And I said, no. Yes, we can go up. Yes, we can go up. The Fed is doing a stealth QE to save the banks in the background anyway. When they raise rates, these banks don't go under. They can do it. But people who were out, they like didn't want to believe it. They go, la. I'm a smelly bear. I poop in the woods. So then what you actually realize is people they have no interest in buying low and selling high. They don't, friends. They're here to maximize their dopamine. Also, critical news as well. Ethereum has record shorts. So there's $2.5 billion of shorts will be liquidated if Ethereum goes back above $3,000 price. And just for friendship and kindness, I'll actually show you that right now. Ethereum's price here. It does suck. It's flipped red on the weekly super trend. Hopefully it finishes above 2475. But it's around here. It's funny. It's right there. So all Ethereum's got a record number of shorts, by the way. All it's got to do is do this. Boop, and you probably actually see a very, very short period of time where it goes up. And it just spikes up just because they got to get out. And we're all laughing like, why were you guys short in the first place? That's what happens, man. When the price goes up, you're going to see everyone posturing like, ha, you thought Vitalik was going to go down with the ship. See, they're going to talk all confident. That's after the price goes up. No one's talking confident like that now. We're saying soy. But that's why I'm like this here with you. I look, the market's right and the market's wrong. It is what it is, okay? The market's right as in everyone feels like there's too much soy and the price is down and it's cursed, yeah? But then the market's wrong in terms of, like, the market's basically saying, hey, we're selling down here. And then you ask everyone, like, okay, so you think this problem's never going to get fixed? Ever? In like 20 years, it'll never get fixed. But when you get people to talk about that, rationally, they'll say, yeah, it will get fixed in 20 years, but all these other coins will get fixed earlier. So then you can conclude, oh, you are irrationally selling Ethereum down. So you don't even think the price should be here. You are just upset because you're guessing it's going to take longer, right? So you know the price shouldn't be down here. It's you feel like it's dog shit. It's going to take forever. You don't actually know it's going to take forever. You just feel like it is. Interesting. That's all markets, friends. Why are markets up? Why are markets out? It's because of that. The market is right and the market is wrong, okay? There is none of that. It's a game. Yeah, the chess pieces moving on a board. So if things go up, it's like, oh, why are you buying this? You know, you know markets eventually come down. Or they go, yeah, they'll come down, but they're not going to come down tomorrow. They're going to come down in another year from now. I know I'm buying high, but, you know, and that, see what I mean? It's the exact same opposite thing. We're more compelled to act on our emotions than we are the rationality, and that's what makes the market. The 4-year cycle is still intact. The racist Russell is under its all-time high. Therefore, you can only keep believing the ETH BTC will be higher in here from 6 months. I know I keep saying that over and over again. What else did you face? Like, you know, your goal is not to pick exact bottoms or the zones out here or the exact tops. It's not. It's just a general region of time because you just don't know how far the market's going to go cheap, right? And also, friends, look, if you think the crowd is right this time, okay, cool. However, shout out to BB Crypto. I watched Bob Loukas' video earlier and was excited to see your reaction. You didn't disappoint. So that's awesome. Yeah, friends, I know because, look, man, you're messing with the boss chart. I made this, because I'm here 18 hours a day. Yeah, I'm here 18 hours a day We flip a coin. I can't tell you if it's going to be heads or tails. I can tell whether you have poopy, smelly diapers full of poop, though. I can tell you smell. I can't tell you, oh, it's going to flip heads or tails on that next spin. I can't. My brain is not focused there. I could focus on that, but I used to do that as day trading. Okay? That's not the game. That's not the big money. The big money is going all in these big moments, in these cheap moments. Staying all in. That's actually the big money. Okay? So, look at this. It's still holding up. It's still holding up. It's interesting, right? If Bitcoin crashes, look, this is funny, right? Think about this. Michael Chad Saylor, right?
People that use fiat.
You know Michael Chad Saylor, baby.
Currency as a store of value.
He bought $2 billion of Bitcoin.
Poor. We call them poor.
He bought $2 billion of Bitcoin, and altcoins are holding up against it. Think about it. We've run out of buyers. We've run out of buyers for Bitcoin relative to altcoins, which we just like, this is a sign. Imagine, friends, there's like just a big wall, but you don't know how big the wall is. It is big though. Yeah. And then someone's tried to punch. That's why imagine I had a curtain. It was a curtain and there was a wall behind it. You don't know if it's cardboard box, gyprock, or a brick wall. And then you've got your hand and you've just punched through the wall. Yeah. What Michael Saylor's done is he's literally jarred his wrist. Yes. He's jarred his wrist. And he's going, cybernetic hornet's nest is in pain. You're like, whoa, man, you just hit a big wall. That's price action trading, by the way. That's what we do. Okay. So he's hit a giant wall because no one comes out and tells you there's a big wall. It's just like, wait a minute, bro. You market bought $2 billion of this thing and it didn't move. It dropped like a rock. Look at the altcoins, friends, which they're saying there's no narrative. I just made your narrative, by the way. That's right, friends. Price moves first. Price reacts first. Here's your narrative. Your narrative for altcoins is Michael Chad Saylor just bought $2 billion of Bitcoin. It still can't make Bitcoin gain strength on altcoins. There you go. There's your narrative. Now, because you're a pumpkin baby doll, I'm just going to show you something, friends. And I'll be honest, this is a bit concerning. Look at Uncle Peter Schiff. CNBC Jim Cramer just put the nail in the MicroStrategy coffin. He said, I'm not worried about Saylor. He's a survivor. He also said he wasn't worried about Bear Stearns days before it went bankrupt. Now, I've heard now Jim Cramer has now twice celebrated Michael Saylor. Okay, that I've been tracking, I've been monitoring. I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, so I think it actually is going to happen. It's almost like Jim Cramer, friends. This is like the more times he speaks, it is powerfully dangerous. Now, MicroStrategy, 55% of the retrace from the top. What you can do is, friends, the most common chart or Bitcoin Max's chart is MicroStrategy BTC. Yeah, this is extremely important. So Michael Saylor's goal is to try get his stock to outperform BTC. We'll see, man. It's just, look, man, we're just too, I don't know, there's just too many people who just don't buy into it by now. But we'll see. If the price goes up, he's figured something out, we'll see. And remember, friends, when I say altcoins, I mean Ethereum. Ethereum is the mothership of altcoins. Ethereum is the harbinger of altcoins, alt season. It is, you can look at others ETH. It's stable over time. Others. Ethereum is the altcoin market. Okay. Not saying Ethereum causes all of them. We don't know that. It just happens at the same time. Okay. It's kind of like, okay, it's like when it's raining, there's clouds up there. Okay, but you let's say you can't even look at them. You're like, okay, I've just noticed whenever clouds come, it rains. Yeah. Do the clouds cause the rain, or do the clouds cause something else? Or is it the same force that brings the clouds, brings the rain? It's more when you're thinking about it like that. Ethereum is in the middle of a tokenization explosion. 2025 is the year that real-world assets will slay the crypto token Ouroboros and make Ethereum's revenues truly sustainable and positive sum. This is real-world assets going up. This is wonderful. So, remember, friends, real-world assets, what do they mean? You know, Ouroboros is that snake that eats itself. crypto's self-circular now. So if real world assets can come in, we will get income streams, more liquidity rails into crypto that don't just rely on retail to bid every cycle. It'll be more consistent, which is beautiful because now I can already see a narrative of people believing this time is different at the top. Because if real world assets, by the way, what's real world assets, friends? Ethereum, real world assets, it hosts most of them. Some people trying to say Soylana does. Come on, bro. Like, dude, every major bank, they're building on Ethereum. Like, it just... No, we're not a JPEG casino anymore. We're a real world assets chain. Okay, you got to convince everyone else out there. Convince them. Now, when they have the income streams coming from like the treasury bonds or even real estate, probably real estate's boring one, that'll take ages, or stocks, you can see how there's just more flows coming into crypto to keep it bid. That would be modifying the volatility of crypto over time. However, I can see at the tops, friends, because real world assets is going up, you can see how, let's say we're at the top. Okay, you don't know what's the top. But the prevailing narrative will be, no, we've got real world assets now, and these things have money coming in. They don't care if Bitcoin goes down. Because if Bitcoin goes down, people stop buying, altcoins and stuff, right? They stop buying altcoins in the bear market. But if you have real world assets of money coming in periodically, it like helps that. But we know we're too early, man. We know we're too early. Just please don't forget this. Okay, don't forget this. I look forward to this amazing narrative appearing, but just please don't forget that. Okay, I know some of you are going to go the way of the soy, and you will forget it. I know, because that's what happens, right? You're going to be trading off your emotions because no one wants to leave the party. No one wants to leave the party. But just, you promise me, like, here's the thing, friends. What I've learned is in markets, you're right in a long time frame. However, before you're right, the market has to do at least one cycle of a test. That's another way of saying it's got to murder everything first, all together. And then the strong stuff rises back up. So we can't have enough real world assets to stop the cycle from collapsing. We can't do that. No matter what the cycle is, no matter what the tech is, we simply can't. It's the same cyclical force that takes us down. Okay. As long as you understand that, you'll know. But yeah, that's why it's tough, friends, because like that's why this is when it comes to like any 2024 Bitcoin halving narrative run, like the unicorn, no one wants to believe that they got lucky. They're like, no, I chose right. There were developers. Bro, there's developers on every chain. Avalanche has developers. Poltron has developers. Every chain has developers. It's just Soylana was the chosen one. You got lucky. Just admit you got lucky, dude. But they don't want to admit it. That's hard. That's a very, very tough part about markets. The people with the highest returns, yes, they are the luckiest. Yes, they did create their own luck, but they are the luckiest. They don't believe that. They think, no, I was entitled. No, there's more. And that's why. That's actually, that's the start. I see this firsthand. I'm like, oh, that's why Jesse Livermore blew his brains out. That's why market cycles are never actually going to change. Now, an all-encompassing answer I have for you comes down to this, friends. So this is extremely important. And I'm going to do more content on this later on. You see others BTC here, friends. Now, the fractals in the background, they've been pissing me off so much. I've made them very, very light colored because the two fractals from before, like, we are way, way, way underperforming. If you go back to Feb of 2017 cycle, we were meant to be 75% on the year, starting January 1st, plus higher, almost 2x. If you go back to 2021, we were meant to be 3x higher than today by this Feb point. Okay, your whole portfolio should be 2 or 3x higher from January. Your portfolio right now is down 30% on others from January. Okay, that's others. So instead of, so if you have $100,000, you're meant to have $200,000 to $300,000 in the past cycles. Instead, you've only got $70,000. That's how underperforming we are right now. However, despite all that, there is still strength gathering here. I still maintain these circles, friends. These circles is where I kind of expect to, I didn't just make this up out of nowhere. I just drew a Fibonacci from the top to the very, very bottom. And I got around the 60 to 70% retrace for number one. Okay. And then what I've done is if it comes up here and then comes back down, I did another fib to there, and I went to the 1.168. And that gives you like almost 60% of others BTC. So these two circles, I know they look random and squiggly, they're actually not. Just because this is similar to what happened in the past cycles. Let me actually show you this to prevent any racism. If you go to 2021 cycle from the bottom to the top, see the top at the bottom here, look what happens here, right? It runs actually all the way up. It runs all the way up to the 1.618. Okay, the 1.618, it ran up. And in the previous cycle, it was higher than that, but it seems to be just like, you know, going down. So that's why actually, if I do the fib again from the top to the bottom, you might say, hey, Sommi, can we go to the 1.618 this time? I hope so. Man, that'd be wild. I hope we do, friends. It's just, I'm scared. That's why I'm telling you, if we're up here, let's actually go this down here, right? If we are up here, just think about this, okay? If you're right, you're going to make another 30% on your Bitcoin value, which is huge, which is like, it's another 2x almost. It's another 2x up here if you're right on your US dollar portfolio. Yeah. So the average altcoiner from this point to that point, they'll be up from today 11x from today. So pretty much that's the average altcoiner. I'm not saying like Pulse Chain or Chain because you don't know what premium or discount you're going to get to the average others index. Yeah. Everyone's up 11x. So you now have to decide up here, are you going to risk being down 95% for the next 4 years for another 2x? That's why it's dangerous up there. That's why it's, you know, that's what we're getting to. But there's nothing to even worry about. Look how low we are. Wouldn't have to worry about that up here. That's all I want you to know, friends. People who make it in markets, they imagine these traps very, very far when no one can even see them. Right now, you can't imagine that Vitalik has some protein. And what I'm saying is, no, it's very easy for him to do that. I'm trying to think of these narratives in my mind that just keep forming where people just refuse to give up on the cycle and stuff out here. But it is what it is. We've now had that little dip. Hopefully March is better. We start to grind up. And yeah, the timing of the circles is important as well. Remember, we landing alt season wave 1, June, July, whatever this one is. And the second one, anywhere from December, January, February next year. Let's see if it's still going to play out. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.